Good afternoon and welcome to day 5, the penultimate day of the 2024 Vanora ENGADINWInd iQFOiL Under-23 World Championships here in stunning Lake Silvaplana, Engadin, Switzerland. So let me introduce us quickly. My name is Greta Malchecker and I'm joined here in the booth by Mr. Ali Masters, technical iQFOiL expert and actually also coach. So Ali, aren't we super excited to talk you through today's action and actually also tomorrow's action?
Yeah, really excited, loving being in the booth, explaining to everyone what's going on, and it certainly looks like we've got a spectacular day on show with the Vanora Wind delivering again.
Absolutely. I mean, we had amazing days so far. Also this morning, the Vanora Wind didn't disappoint us, and yeah, we got already a lot of action in. So we're excited, the riders are excited, the spectators are excited. Let's have a look how much excitement there's really in the air.
It's absolutely awesome. When it's windy, sunny, the life feels pretty amazing, especially when we can windsurf in this beautiful Lake Silvaplana with amazing water and amazing views around. You feel like a star for a moment because you're winning your race in a fleet for a moment, so it's something incredible that the training you've been putting out is now in the race.
Especially for me, I feel like it's really scary because I'm between the youngest people in the fleet, so it's pretty scary for me, and I don't know, it's just so excited. It's just amazing being in the middle of the fleet with a lot of people that I know they're good and trying to improve every single race, and it's a feeling that you can describe.
It feels so great to be racing here. Super nice, and the wind is super good.
Well, pretty scary because we are a lot, like we have 47 competitors, so it's really crowded on the starting line. It's not easy, but you have to find your place, and yeah, you hope for having the perfect spot on the starting line. Yeah, of course, it's amazing when you finish the races, and we have like tons of races. Yesterday we did 5 as well. So yeah, it's great, especially if you finish in a good position, obviously, but it's nice.
So when I'm in the water, I feel amazing. The wind is always good here, like most of the time. It feels very fast in the lake, and the scenery is amazing as well.
The excitement's certainly brewing, and after 3 great days of racing so far, we've got 14 races on the board for all fleets. Over yesterday, a big day, the first day of Gold Fleet, and that real separating mark for the fleet.
Absolutely.
We saw 5 course races completed for all classes, and that really started to separate the gaps, make the gaps in the fleet. And you know, as we're slowly thinking about working towards that top 10 cutoff, we've got 10 people who can make the medal race. So everyone is now focusing on being in that top 10.
The pressure is on, absolutely.
Yeah, and on that, you know, well, maybe we've got a marathon today. Let's just check out the action from yesterday and see what really was the differentiating factors.
Welcome back to day 4 here at the Vanora ENGADINWInd iQFOiL Under-23 World Championships in stunning Lake Silvaplana, Engadin, Switzerland. Today marked the first day of the men's fleet, splitting into gold and silver. So let's have a look at today's course race action. After some amazing battles between the women, the female leaders after day 4 are: in first position, Tamar Steinbeck from Israel.
Yeah, I had a super good day. My speed was good and I felt like I did really good tactics.
In second position, Maya Gisel from Norway. And in third position, Tuva Oppedal, also from Norway.
Hi, I'm Tuva Oppedal, Norway 29. It went better than yesterday, luckily, so that was nice.
For the Gold Fleet men as well, we got 5 course races under our belts. At the end of day 4, the leaders are Leonardo Tomasini from Italy, in second position Andy Brown from the UK, and in third place Max Castellijn from the Netherlands.
It's very hard to choose the best tactics. I managed to do it, so now I'm leading. I'm really happy.
Tomorrow's the penultimate day of the event, which means that the top 10 for the medal series will be decided. Exciting stuff ahead.
It was certainly a spectacular day of racing, really exciting with 5 races completed, and actually it was about building that consistent scorecard, not necessarily being the fastest in the fleet, but not taking massive risks and building big scores. We saw Leonardo Tomasini, he had a difficult first race, but then after that he really excelled himself, whilst Andy Brown kept the pressure on and never let him too far off his leash, so they're nice and close still at the top. With Tamar, she obviously had a great day. You know, Maya struggled at points, but still really nicely well poised going into this final, or the penultimate day before the medal races today. We caught up with some of those sailors in the top 10, how they're feeling, what it's looking like going in just this penultimate day to make sure they make it to the medal race. We've had a great day's racing, and tomorrow marks the penultimate day for the sailors to qualify themselves into the medal race. There'll be 10 spots, and we're going to speak to some of those guys on the periphery looking to lock in their places in the top 10, and also those looking to lock in their spots for the semi-final and grand final automatically.
Today I try to focus a lot on the right strategy, because speed really doesn't matter in this competition. I managed to do the right decision, fortunately, and so that is why I'm leading, yeah.
No, I think my speed is good, performance is alright, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully try to get at least into top 3 to get to the semi-final, but if not, I will be ready for the quarterfinals on Sunday.
Feeling good today. Was good with regularity for me. I did only races in the top 10, so for tomorrow I hope the same, to stay with the regularity, and I will try to get some races in the top 3. My strategy changed for all races, so before race you have to choose where you will start, so I will see what will happen.
Feeling really good, hoping to do a good day tomorrow. No, my strategy doesn't change for tomorrow. I will keep on trying to do my best and lock the first place to the medal series. Yeah, the level is really good. We are having really close races, which is really fun, and the place here is lovely to race in. So I'm having good fun and good races.
So yeah, after today I had a really bad day. Didn't find my rhythm. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for tomorrow races. I hope it will be better for me. I'm gonna give everything I have to spot my top 3 place.
As we heard, some guys had great days, some guys had a little indifferent days. Maybe they left a little bit on the course. And
that's part of the game, though, huh? That's part of the game.
Some fighting talk, they want to bring themselves back up. But now it's time to check out the numbers. We are looking who is going to make that medal race and be in the top 10, and that's all important. We can see the top 12 men on the screen right now, but it's all about who's making that top 10 to qualify for the quarterfinal, and also in turn those in the top 3 are looking to qualify direct for the semi-final, and the leader qualifying to the grand final. Okay, let's look at the men's leaderboard. We've got Clément Bourgeois down in 12th place from Brest. He's had a load of time off, but he's coming back into it and getting race ready. He's in 12th. David Durda is from Czech Republic. He's in 11th, and he is just 4 points off Bernard Thomas. That's going to be a real area and a tight battle between those two in this race. Maybe they'll be looking at each other a bit too much. In 9th place, we've got Federico Palloni.
Freddy Piloni, exactly. So-called Freddy. We all call him Freddy, just so you know. I mean, he's the current youth sailing world champion, just recently crowned in July in Lake Garda, and he's definitely one of the young and upcoming stars from Italy. He's a super focused guy, very, very passionate guy. I mean, he always used to say, I do it with all my heart and soul, whatever I do, especially windsurfing. So we can definitely expect a lot from him today, but also in general in the future, I would say. say. And then another guy from Team Italy, Manolo Modena. He's one of the local Lake Garda boys heroes from Circolo Surf, training a lot together with Leonardo Tomasini. They're all trained by Coach Dario. And yeah, I mean, Manolo also, he's there for a reason, a very focused guy, and looking forward what he will show us today.
Yeah, and in 7th place, we've got Michał Polak, the only Polish representative. They've got a massive team here. You know, he'll be looking to really fly the flag and take that under-23 title. He's only 20 points off the lead, so who knows. In 6th, we've got Joost Vink from the Netherlands. He also, but these points are tight. In 5th, 2 points ahead is Finn Hawkins. Some good races, some bad races for him. Let's see what he brings to the party. And in 4th, you know, a fresh face. He's had a different route into this sport. Eli Lifting from New Zealand. He's come all the way across the world, and he is slowly climbing. We've seen some real pace from him in the course racing, so let's see what he's got. Rounding out the top 3, and those already in the qualifying spots for the semi-final and the grand final as it stands. We've got Max Castellijn from the Netherlands, Andy Brown from the UK in 2nd, and then leading the fleet, we've got Leonardo Tomasini. He's got a 1-point lead for now.
But, I mean, Leonardo, you know, he's super sharp. He's very focused. He's one of the guys who is very, I mean, he's doing super well in school. He's really, you know, really focused on what he's doing in general in competitions. But he's also a very relaxed guy. And I have to say, I mean, he has a lot of titles under his belt already. He's the current European champion, just recently crowned also in Embrun. And he's hungry for the title.
Yeah, and so, yeah, let's see. Leonardo's got it all to do today. The pressure's on him to hold that number 1 spot. We look into the women's standings. They also have a marathon today. And we've got Alice Reed in 12th from GBR. And then we've got Barbara Sikova from the Czech Republic. And then we've got Lola and Manon in from France. Emma in 8th from Estonia. Christina from the Czech Republic in 7th. With Lucy, old experienced media face, in 6th. Darcy, the young Brit, in 5th. She'll be looking to just get some practice here. And then separating the top 4, it's not much, but it's the big battle between Israel and Norway. Tuva's in 4th, Daniela's in 3rd, Maya's in 2nd, Tamar's in 1st. Who knows what will happen? They're all talking, you know, giving us the fighting talk ready to go for today.
And as we just said, everything is possible until the very end, you know, so it's staying exciting until the very end.
We've already had racing today. We've had the Silver Fleet already out, and they competed in a marathon race. It's a longer format race. They're racing for up to an hour of multiple laps. The start is a little bit different in this one. You see,
exciting! Oh my God!
You see event director
that.
Christian Muller flying along in his boat. He's the rabbit boat, and they've got to start behind him. You know, some got very close. Best start of the day from what I saw was from Switzerland 51, but it wasn't him that held it. It was actually a real tactical battle between Jules Chantrol from France and Noam Cabell from Switzerland. They were early, or they got into the right-hand side of the upwind, and they led throughout. The conditions up and down. Lake Silvaplana, the Maloya wind was perfect at the start, and then it went a little bit light. So it was very much about staying in the breeze, staying foiling, and keeping it going round the track.
Example, that's what you want to do. I mean, look at these amazing images. Lake Silvaplana absolutely delivering again this morning. The Maloya wind kicked in early again. And yeah nothing but fabulous.
It was super exciting, and it also involved, running alongside this race, was the Engadine Marathon. It's the 47th edition. And we had a lot of other superstars racing on other kit. They were on boats, they were in kites, on wings. And Nico Goyard, was our iQFOiL World Champion from 21, was back racing in that fleet as well.
Exactly. I mean, the 47th Engadine Marathon is one of the most historical competition in general, you know, still standing. 47 editions. How exciting is that? And we are actually part of this today. And, you know, above the years, many other disciplines got added. So, yeah, super, super cool to sharing everybody's passion together on the water. So yeah, so for everybody just joining in right now, welcome and welcome back to the Vanora ENGADINWIND iQFOiL Under-23 World Championships here in stunning Lake Silvaplana, Switzerland. So let me introduce us again. My name is Greta Marcheger, and I'm joined here in the booth by Mr. Ali Masters, iQFOiL technical expert and actually also coach. And we are super excited to talk you through the action of today and actually also tomorrow, aren't we, Ali?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be really exciting to see what today brings. we're expecting the marathon course to be run and starting very shortly. 2 minutes 35, so the guys are already in sequence. We said this is a long course race. They're going to be doing 5 laps. It's a long upwind going all the way to the top of the lake and then back down, coming down to Mark 2. But then the 2 tight reaches back and forth, really showing off the fleet in front of Lake Silvaplana and the town. And so we see them coming around multiple times over 5 laps.
Exactly. I mean, look at this amazing image showing Lake Silvaplana in the stunning Engadin Valley. I mean, Lake Silvaplana is actually one of the most known spots of windsurfing, wing foiling, whatever wind sports in Europe. I mean, for a reason. It's stunning. It's beautiful. You get the Maloya wind machine building up every day, a thermal wind coming from the southerly, westerly direction. And then obviously also the surroundings are stunning. I mean, there is St. Moritz, the town next by, which is actually also very, very famous for winter sports. I mean, 2 times the Olympic Winter Games has been held here in 28 and 48, I believe. And I really like to say that Silvaplana and the Engadin is actually, I would say, a playground for big kids, you know, all year long, because you can do a lot of summer sports as hiking, mountain biking, sailing, windsurfing, and also in winter you get skiing, you get ice skating. So it's really an amazing place to be and to make everyone happy all year long.
Yeah, you can certainly do anything here, but now we build up to the marathon. We see all the recreational wingers and kiters. They're hopefully downwind out of the action, otherwise they're going to get a scare. The marathon brings something different. The start, everyone has to start on starboard tacks. They're all going the same way, which makes it incredibly busy, but they must start behind the boat.
That's very important, otherwise it gets also very dangerous.
Yeah,
that's what
we don't
want
want to get run over the boat. And so the boat that we're going to be starting with, we can see in the middle of the screen, it's got a big blue flag, which signifies we're going to be doing a marathon race. And that will be getting to that pin end red triangle mark, just in the middle left of the screen. And it will get to there at speed, 0 on the go. And at that point, we're going to see all the foilers starting reaching down the line. As we've got Axel Harbour reaching down. He's one of those leading in. And Valeurzin, they're looking for a bit of space. So they're going down the pin, escaping the fleet. What we've seen tactically from the Silver Fleet is actually you don't want to end up in the bottom left. But some of these guys, they've got no choice. They're looking for space. And we build up to the start. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And that boat starts going. It's matching the speed of an iQFOiler, just like a little rabbit or a gate start boat. And we see the first guys hooking up around.
It's race time. Oh yes, off we go.
The Dutch hooking up here, and then we've got a big group of sailors waiting up towards the boat, and we're going to be looking at that angle. You're trying to be aiming as high upwind as you possibly can and be as close to the boat as you can. So they'll be really taking some risks, hoping to not hit the metal.
Oh my God, look at this image. It seems like almost that the drone, you know, is flying in the riders. Amazing. This is what we want to see. I mean, the start is definitely one of the most exciting moments of this race, of this marathon, of course, racing in general.
A little bit of loss of control. They have to pass through the turbulent water, and we saw Finn Hawkins pop out and stall and stop. So lots of guys really lost momentum when we already see them tacking away. It looks like, I think it might be Max Castelline that is out in front having a really nice punch. We've got Vidar Nistrom on the bottom from Sweden. He's looked for some separation. If there's more wind on the left, he'll be all right.
But he's just about to tack. Okay.
But he's still going to be in clean wind, and that gives him a really nice opportunity to build into this race. Stas has also tacked. He's 17th at the moment, so hopefully working towards the medal race. We now start to see some rankings come up on the screen. Yeah, I was right. It was Max Castelline up the top, looking great. He's in 3rd place. He's got his bib on, so we'll easily be able to spot him. And he's ready to go and just control the marathon. The start is everything. See where we go from there. Andy Brown, also in the blue bib in 2nd place. He was just a little bit further up, but he's completed his tack and headed out to the right with Leonardo Tomasini right as the top board. That position that he really nailed yesterday.
And I mean, we can clearly see that the wind is a bit lighter than yesterday, because yesterday we had up some speeds up to 24 knots, something like this, and today is way, way lighter. But yeah, the guys are going more up the lake, approaching the upper mark. So yeah, we're just at the very beginning of this marathon. And for everybody who's actually not very common to the area, I mean, we are 1,800 meters high. So means that the air is actually quite thin. And it takes, oh, we just saw some crashes coming in here.
There's a bit of a crash attack. It's easy to fall off the forward attack. It's one of the key decision points. We see Leonardo Tomasini centre screen, but he is being crossed by Clément Bourget coming from the right. It seems like those who escaped to the right-hand side early maybe didn't have the best start, like Sebastian Schara. Actually, they're looking great and crossing through. Okay.
Yeah, we see a lot of crossovers coming in there. Ooh, winger out of the way, please.
Oh, he got scared. That unfortunately really affected, I think it's Finn Hawkins. Yeah, really impacted his sailing. Hopefully he can get his speed back up and get going as they keep hitching up this right-hand side of the lake.
And I mean, we see quite some techs coming in, but most of those techs on the right-hand side of the lake are actually a little bit wet, so with some touchdowns. I mean, how important is it to actually get straight away going after the tech? It's very important,
everything on the
right?
tack. If you can hold the speed, it can save 40 to 50 meters. Okay, and it was really nice to see Manolo coming back into it. A different start, different opportunities. We're now building up to the women's race. Obviously, they've got to run round, and this start's not going to start until that first that boat gets to the pin end of the line and starts reaching up, which is why none of the girls have gone so far, because the starboard end was so advantageous in that last start.
Exactly, and I mean, as we just discussed also yesterday, it is quite important actually to have a look also at the race which is starting before your own race, you know, because you can get quite some wind readings out of it already.
They're watching
and some
the other
insights.
race. They're watching the other race, but they've also got to watch that fleet coming back down. The lake is about to get incredibly busy. Elena Sandera leads in towards the boat. She's going to be the first board to the left-hand side. I can see Sophia Meyer on the Patrick Sail in the mid-fleet, and they're slowly making their way down. They're a lot later on the start. We've already had 15 seconds after they could have gone, showing how much they want to be at the starboard end.
And there we go. It's showtime also for the ladies. Here we go. Yeah, Rabbit start on its way.
They're slowly hooking up. It is very, very busy. It's hard to make that turn when you're so tight and close together. And look how quick they're zooming past. It's not just the camera. It is so scary on that boat, hoping that all the girls are going to give you just enough room.
I mean, it's super scary. Those starts are incredibly scary. All the girls, when interviewing them, they said it were so many on the starting line, 47. You need to be really, trying to give your best and try to be safe, but also for the guys on the boat, actually.
Yeah, we saw an amazing first start from Sophia Meyer, from Maya Gisley, from Tuva Opperdow, and I think from Justine Lemetier, the PWA sailor. But we can also see on the split screen in the men's race that Manolo Medina from Torbole is rounding first. I caught up with him before the racing today, and he wasn't so happy with how he'd performed this week. He'd really struggled on the starts and was hoping that this format in the marathon was going to give him that opportunity to be free and fast. Because from all the chat I was hearing, he's done a bit of training with Andy Brown, and he's had the legs on him.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I saw the guys training together actually just the weeks before coming up here, and it's amazing, you know, training together. And this is also a point that we've been discussing yesterday. I mean, how important is it actually to know the other competitors, to know their strengths? And I mean, Manolo actually had a quite good start, but it's important to be a good all-round sailor here, you know, to be able to perform in all the different formats, not only in the slalom, but actually also in the course racing and obviously in the marathon. And bringing that together all on paper during the races is it's not always easy.
The marathon, you know, it's different, it's longer, and it's a change of focus, but it also can be a bit of a speed test. You know, that tuning run as they're lining up to go off the line, everyone is equal. Passing behind the boat makes it fair, and it's actually a real test of who is the very fastest. And from what we've seen so far coming off the line, Tuva and Meyer are going incredibly quick, and so is Kristina Pinisova, who's currently leading the race. She's just tacked to stay with the fleet and to protect off the right. Not the greatest tack in the world. Well, you know, she'll certainly want to look to some better ones than that, but she's back up and foiling, and I'm sure she'll be charging.
And off she goes. Yes, I mean, the girls absolutely flying during these days. Yesterday, I mean, we've been talking before, you know, being up here, competing here at a height of 1,800 meters is not easy at all. I mean, there's less oxygen in the air, so the body has to work as triple as much as it would usually. And the girls are all obviously in a very good physical shape, but it's tough. I mean, it's very tough.
I don't think that's going to be any concern for Kristina. They've just come direct. All the Czech team have just come from their Czech championships. They don't have any sea in the Czech Republic, so it was actually in Croatia, an 8-day competition. and they one day had to do 9 course races.
Oh my God.
We hope Ava isn't listening to this, the race officer, and thinks that's a good idea in future. But I think that will be great preparation for this marathon, doing that many races in a day. We see Manolo now coming down to the bottom mark. He's
Flying.
rounded in first, with Sebastian Schara in Switzerland in second. And interestingly, Finn Hawkins in third. I thought, really bad start, losing control on the boat, which we may see at some point. But actually, getting to the right-hand side early has allowed those guys in the fleet to then get themselves into the race and be nice and leading. From our contest to the lead, even though it's a marathon, nothing's changed up the top. Leonardo Tomasini really safe and secure in 5th place, and with Andy Brown moving up to 3rd already.
Oh yes, I mean yesterday we have seen in general a lot of changes throughout the races, which kept it interesting until the very end. And in general, the right-hand side of the lake was definitely the more in favor one yesterday. Seems like more or less also today actually. I mean, Lake Seveplana is not a very large lake. It's 1.3 to 1.4 kilometers large,
And
which
so now
means that the riders need to tack and actually jibe a lot.
Yeah, they're now rounding. They're going along this final reach, and they're going to be hooking up just behind the boat. There's actually a mark connected to the back of that start-finish boat, so they're going to be so close. I think our class secretary, Valerie's on the back, counting scores, taking lap counts, but they're going to be swinging up really tight to it as they try and aim to go as high upwind as possible. Interesting, you did that back
pumping
foot
like
out.
hell. Oh my God, look at this pumping. Oof.
And now we look
Proper
to see
cardio.
Finn Hawkins is round in second. He waited, he carved up for a long, long time before he started his pumping to give him that chance to just get a little bit more upwind to get that fresh slice of the breeze. Nipping across over to the windward mark for the girls. They've round mark 1 to the spreader mark. We have Maya Gisley in the lead. And, a France, I can't exactly see the number. One of the French girls in second they'll be happy with. And then there's a Czech in 4th.
I mean, it's been amazing to see Maya yesterday. She had 2 not so ideal races, let's say, but she was really able to put her mindset back together, recovered then in the last race, and yeah, she's doing a good job. So let's see, she's leading at the moment.
Yeah, it's good. Like, the marathon start makes it so different. Actually, everyone has the equal opportunity to get off the line.
Absolutely.
And it's your disengagement of your brain and the fear factor in how close you're going to hook up to the boat. I was trying to put that in a really polite way. You're really taking some risks and being quite assertive. Also good to see in the fleet, Christina's doing well, Lucy's doing well. The marathon might not suit her, being a long distance race and it being all about speed rather than starting. But it's good to see she's in 3rd right now. And then moving up after a difficult week so far, we've got Ola from Poland. She's training out of Sopot and she's her 2nd year as a senior. She's still finding it tricky, but she's really looking forward and hoping that in the women's class they might be changing to 7.3, which will suit her a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Maya is really able to extend her lead. She's absolutely flying with a very deep downwind reach, actually, with a very deep angle. Amazing. And the other girls approaching.
Ooh, it's Lola Sarin.
Oh, it's Lola, yeah.
It's Lola. Who knew? You know, Lola, I think she's 6th overall at the moment for the French. She's had a good week. You know, really nice summer training, preparing Helene. But now she's just hoping to build towards the Europeans and seeing what she get in this race.
I mean, Lola is definitely one of the consistent girls, that's for sure.
She's fast. She
Yes.
is really, really fast, especially downwind on the reach. So it looks like she's taken a few places already on this downwind to get herself into it. And she's going to love the reach which they've got coming for them next.
Exactly. All right, so let's see. We can't see Maya, so it seems like she's still leading.
No, Maya's in second. We've actually got Lola's gone all the way past. So impressive. She went faster and lower to make the jump on Maya out of that. So now they approach this. They've put in another jibe, trying to stay out in the middle of the lake for some wind. And then as they go towards Mark 2 on the course. Okay. We may have also seen just pass through was all the men going back upwind. One of the big challenges this marathon is staying focused, keeping an eye on where you need to be, where you're sailing next, and dodging everyone else, because there's so many people doing 20 plus knots on the lake right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, for the marathon, we need to remember it's 5 rounds. So you need to be good in breath, good in shape, and Obviously, the tactical decisions are very, very important here, being able to read the lake, where the wind patches, which side is the favorable one, and what are actually, the other racers doing.
It's interesting. Seems like the leaderboard's really changing up right now. The breeze is unstable, and there's lots of different opportunities because there's more space on the racecourse than previously. They set up for the jibe, not the full laydown, but they're just trying to keep it safe to give them a nice high exit out of the mark. Maya's come out a little bit higher, but it's who's going to have that top speed on straight away. Lola stayed low. She's probably better away because normally when you're on a lower angle, you can get a bit more speed out of the equipment first as her method to divide. As we go back up to the top, Manolo stays in second, Andy Brown in third, and Manolo is leading. Andy Brown in second, and Finn Hawkins in third. He's extended a little bit, but they're not going to let it have him that easy. They're going to keep the pressure on all the time.
Definitely. I mean, this is also what we've been talking about yesterday. Once you're sitting in that first position, it's all about defending it, and that's sometimes the even more difficult thing than actually approaching the riders who are in front of you. So the pressure is on for him, absolutely.
We see them all going. They've all pretty much taken the same route. They're heading round the mark, and then they're jibing within 15 to 20 seconds. That generally suggests there's not that much wind as they go towards the shoreline, meaning sure they're still chasing after. It's good for Manolo. He's keeping himself in between his opposition and the next mark. And for them to sail round him, they're going to have to do it at real pace.
Exactly. I mean, the boys are absolutely flying, speeding up to 26 knots, 27 knots maximum board speed. So amazing to see going down the downwind.
And to explain a little bit more about the marathon format, it's a little bit longer, but it doesn't just mean it's one race. This is actually a double counting race, so it will count for twice in the results. So it's in effectively double points, so it has a bit more value to it. One of the other factors to the marathon is you can only discard one of those races. So if you've had a shocker, and one of those top guys trying to get the top 10, you can't discard both. We can't have an OCS in the marathon or over the line. It's pretty hard. If you go the wrong side of the boat, you've probably got a few more things to worry about than the penalty points.
Exactly, especially the boat.
But no, it does mean that with this 2 point, or this race counts for 2, that actually Manolo's going to be getting 2 firsts on the scorecard, and Andy Brown, as it sits, will be getting 2 seconds. He's thinking about where that placing is into the medal races in the grand final. And with Tomasini back in 6th right now, Andy will be counting 2 seconds with Tomasini counting 6, or 2.6, and that's an 8-point gap, which is going to put him comfortably in the lead of the regatta.
I mean, the pressure is absolutely on because, as we mentioned already before, we're on the penultimate day. Tomorrow the medal series are on, and obviously all those ladies and gents, they want to be in that medal series. That's basically the goal of the whole week. But yeah, only the toughest one today might be able to change something around for those top 10s tomorrow.
Yeah, it's certainly. As we drop back to the women, we're looking at Lola Sorin. She's gliding upwind. She's flying, cruising away from the other girls. She's in shot right now. Her focus, she's not looking at the drone. She's not getting distracted. Her focus is on just going as fast to that corner as possible.
Exactly, but she's looking very comfy. Very, very relaxed and comfy, actually.
Yeah, because, Lola, certainly she can sit that weight in the harness and she can stay really still. She's really, really strong. Does a lot in the gym, and actually, even with the back foot out the strap, she's able to stay nice and stable upwind. One of the challenges for Lola sailing is the manoeuvres. Unbelievable in a straight line, but that was a pretty good tack. Planed out and got herself back up to speed and has crossed in front of Katerina, just coming across the screen now. Christina from the Czech Republic. Okay.
All right, Lola flying up to that upwind mark. She extended quite a bit her lead, I would say.
Yeah, she's got a nice little lead here right now, but you never know when it's over. Especially we've seen over the last few days how unpredictable Lake Silverplana is, and how the right hand of the course can really affect the racing.
Absolutely.
Can you jump in? Can you not? And even from speaking to Noam Kubel from Switzerland, who won the Silver Fleet race, he had a really good lead, but he was sweating to the very end. Even with a good lead, he needed to stay on the foil. He needed to stay in that right little gust to take him towards the mark. So even though he had a good lead, you've got to keep focused. If you're drifting off, it's all going wrong.
And let's be honest, I mean, the level is just so incredible high here. I mean, we see those racers here flying around, and sometimes we forget how young they actually are. I mean, obviously, it's the Under-23 World Championships, but some of them are like 16, 17, and I mean, they're just pulling off a show. They're very well prepared, very professional already, and it's just amazing that they're showing us how it's properly done.
Yeah, no, they're flying around the course. For Lola, this is her final year as an under-23, and she really want to make the most of it, see how she can do, if she can become the under-23 world champion before she sets her sights fully on LA 28. You know, one of the other bits, it's a long race. We've been going for a while. I caught up with many of the athletes while we were getting ready this morning and wanted to know how they were going to stay focused. For a lot of them, turns out, especially for some of our younger viewers, a lot of them are singing around the race course. They couldn't confirm what the songs were. So for some of them, it's whatever was in the moment, what felt right. If it was windy and they were trying to survive, or if it was light winds and they were battling. But many of them will have the tunes in their heads and they'll be singing as they go around the course.
That's amazing. Just loving that, loving that. And I mean, some of them are actually also talking loudly to themselves, you know, like actually commentating in their own way their race.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of critical self-chat, you know, critiquing what they've done, but also a bit of cue words, trying to remind them on what they're focusing on to make sure they can stay nice and top. The men's race remains tight. Manolo Medina, he's in the lead, but Andy and Finn in second and third are not letting up. And the boys in fourth and fifth, it looks like Max Castellin and Luca Leonardo Tomasini in his yellow bib. They're still there putting the pressure on.
I mean, Manolo is not giving them an easy time, that's for sure. He's not giving anything away. He's a fighter until the very end. So, yeah, very curious to see how this race will evolve.
And we see the crossing in the fleet. Yeah. Let's keep an eye on those top guys, but there's going to be lots of others intermixing through the fleet. We just saw a Singapore sailor go through the fleet. It was Angel Chu, a young girl. Actually helped her get into windsurfing a long time ago for the first time. It's her first international, and she's just really been enjoying being somewhere with some breeze, and so she can train with the very best and improve her skills.
I mean, that's actually how you improve the most, you know, learning with the very best, training with the very best until you're also improving and getting there. So that's a very good tactic, actually.
And it's very hard. Like, it's so good that we've got 35 nations at this event, but actually finding the training group to be with, how you're going to meet other people, maybe find some coaches. And we see lots of them. Lots of these sailors end up in Lake Garda. I know she was this summer. It's Manolo's home. Yours as well, Greta's.
Exactly.
Everyone's out of Chocolo. The coach Dario is working overtime, and Vasco and Ricardo, the Renners, are also, and Jacopo.
I mean, we're always very happy to welcome everyone there, you know. And we're actually a little bit of lake hopping. So Lake Garda, we're in Lake Silvaplana in Switzerland. So
and there's certainly a lot that can be gained from training on one lake to another. You know, we spoke to the Israeli girls, the Norwegian girls, and they had the same thing. Actually, doing this time on the lake, you know, fresh water. It's not as buoyant. It feels very different on the floor. You've got to get used to it, and it will be feeling comfortable.
I mean, most of the riders, they came here actually a couple of days earlier before the competition kicked off. Some of them even like 8 to 9 days earlier. First of all, it's always good to get in a place, in a spot earlier, to understand a bit the wind, to understand the conditions, to get used to it. But obviously here, there's another very important factor that we just mentioned. We're at 1,800 meter height. So usually, from a medical point of perspective, the body needs a couple of days to adjust to that. And most of those riders are actually coming from the ocean, living at the sea. So it's quite a difference. I mean, talking to Maya the other day when she came off the water, she was actually breathing a lot, completely out of breath, and everybody can just confirm it's hard to perform here.
Really interesting moment just then. Manolo had a really nice lead. He's looking comfortable. You know, he just stayed in the harness, really slingshotted down and accelerated. But Andy Brown is now trying to turn the screw and see if he can catch up and come in. And actually, as they went round the mark, he wanted to create some distance between him and Manolo, so he jibed off straight away. Manolo's just charging for speed, hoping that Andy can't find more breeze to catch up on him, but he's got to stay smart. As we can see, that dark water just above. Andy might have even closed up the gap a little bit, but is he on will he be able to get to the ley line, having jibed that early?
Yeah, I mean, from this angle, it definitely looks like Andy is catching up, but we will see once they really
it's always so hard. You know, I've sit either on the coach boat or on the shoreline, And through the lenses, the foreshortening, you just think they're a lot closer. But I think he has really closed the door. You see, we see some of the girls for the women's fleet still coming down. A Turkish sailor, but fortunately they managed to all thread around. And Andy's done a few pumps after his jibe to try and keep the pressure on Manolo as he charges for the lead.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we can see a lot of crossovers, obviously, having the girls and the boys on the water at the same time.
Yep.
Talking about that, we can still see Lola leading the women's race, going upwind again and giving it some pumping speed in.
Oh, and you see, it's interesting, as we've just gone past the committee boat, they're actually putting up a flag every time they go round to signify how many laps the girls have still got to do. So as Lola went round, the flag with number 3 was on, just to keep her in check, because for a lot of them it's going to get very confusing.
I mean, obviously they're so focused on the race that it can happen that you forget on a moment, oh my god, was it the second, third or fourth round?
You know, maybe I like the spectacle, but at the opening ceremony we had the local band, and they play these very large like cowbells, and it would be so great to have one of those there ready to signify it was the final lap before at the end they wave the checkered flag.
Yeah. So more than half of the race is done, third round in the pocket, but still 2 more laps to go. And I'm sure the girls, the ladies and gents will feel that in their breath.
It's Lola's off, she's secure. She's just sailing up now, but she's on the uphill and twisted to really face forward so she can keep an eye on any that are going to come past her, because sailing instant freeze can be so critical. We now go down the reach. This is busy. You know, we've got men and women racing down that. Manolo's in first, but he's got, I think, Katrin Williams, Sophia Heimlern, and a Polish sailor that he's just trying to jump in front. And these 3 girls in between Manolo and Andy might allow him to extend his lead a little bit more.
Oh yeah, busy days on the water, huh? But amazing to see everyone racing so at full speed.
Yeah, no, it's full power all the way.
I mean, seems like that a little bit of clouds came in actually. I mean, the Maloja wind is still there, but the Maloja wind is obviously a thermal wind, so which is dropping throughout the afternoon and later in the day, but so far it still seems everything safe and under control.
You can see where the sun is shining, where that water is
very
so light and blue. But for these athletes, they won't be complaining what the weather is. They're just going to be going as fast as they possibly can. Andy Brown, interesting, he had to take a different route around there. He's had to go underneath that group of girls to catch up with Manolo. So Manolo's gained a lot out of those 2 reaches. He hooks up round the mark now. Rig is very far back as he goes round. He's really trying to put as much power in. He's getting tired, so the rep speed gets a little bit faster to compensate and keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I think that marked round number 4 for the men. Is that correct? Am I mistaken? I'm also getting confused.
I think they've been round the bottom 3 times now. So the men have completed 3 laps and the women have completed 2 laps. We see Eli Lifting go around. He is in 4th. Nice rounding. And Tomasini there, absolutely flying into that mark. Hopefully it wasn't too fast that he couldn't hook up. But if he can get that fresh slice of the wind, he'll be trying to make that opportunity to bring himself back into the race and put Manolo, Andy, Eli and Finn under pressure.
Oh, yes. Okay, the race continues. A lot of pumping going on, especially after the tacking, to get the foil quickly fast out of the water again and keep flying to the next upwind mark.
Yeah, one of the challenges for the guys is they're really looking for clean wind, because whenever anyone is in clean wind, you're going to be able to go faster and better. But now the fleets are intermixing.
Yeah,
you're going to have to work really hard, sometimes to go low and fast, sometimes to go high, just to find that space and get that clean breeze.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. You look at the lake and there's just so much happening, you know, and the girls and the boys and loving it. Absolutely loving it. Easy to get confused, but loving it.
We're watching Lola Sorin come up towards the women's mark with Maya Tuva Opperdow just underneath her. You know, the speed was quite impressive. We've got about 13 to 14 knots, and these girls are doing 18 plus knots upwind. It's amazing and really shows the potential of the foil.
I mean, those are just powerhouses of women, you know, not just cruising around. They're real powerhouses, these girls.
Yeah, the foil can be quite challenging. You know, we see certainly lots of the girls trying to get bigger and stronger to be able to drive more through the front wing, and the more power you can put through that front wing, generally the faster we're able to go.
I mean, some of the guys also, you know, you see them at the end of the season in autumn, and then you see them again kind of in spring and stuff, and they're like double a size, so everybody's basically putting up some weight, yeah.
Really nice that we can see the leaderboard. Lola's actually got quite a good gap, but as we look down, we're looking to see how this might affect the overalls. We got Tamar Steinberg, the leader of the event right now, in 6th place, but there's no sign of Daniela Peleg in 3rd. Hopefully she can recover, but at the moment, holding her out of the top 10, we got Lucy Kenyon from GBR, and we have got Julia Gomez from Barcelona. I called up her today. She actually had a big crash on the first day and destroyed all her kit. So she's now got a new board, one of the Olympics boards, and a new foil. So this rest of the regatta, unfortunately, she's probably going to struggle, but she's just trying to use it for experience and get used to the equipment and build towards the Europeans now.
Yeah. And another interesting information, I mean, Alice Reed is sitting in 7th position at the moment. So if everything goes good, I mean, she was sitting in 12th overall before, she could still go into that top 10. So that's actually very exciting to see those further positions more backwards the fleet, because those are actually the positions which will be deciding, okay, am I going into the medal race or not tomorrow? So
Alice is having a great race. You know, she's free, she's able to go fast. But one of the challenges for her, the girl in 10th place, is who we can see on the screen right now, Lola Sorin. And she is likely, with 113 points, going to jump up rapidly and secure her place in the quarterfinals. So even though just a good race now, you're trying to, but then there's others who may be struggling. We haven't seen too much of Emma Millen from Estonia. Maybe she just didn't have a start, but there's still 2.5 laps for them to catch up and bring themselves back into the race.
But as we keep saying, everything is possible until the very end.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over.
Exciting.
You know, I think there's always something that could happen. You could have a collision, they could have a fall. I caught up with Eli lifting from New Zealand. We watched him finish was it the first race yesterday? He had a really tight one with one of the Brits, I think. And he had a huge crash, went round the front, smashed the nose of his board up. Apparently, Solarez provided a good enough fix. But yeah, he's not seemed to stop him too much. He's in 4th. Manolo, interestingly, done a jibe, but he's got wrapped up with Manon Pianazza. She's in 9th overall, so she's really pushing for a result in this race to keep herself in the top 10. But Manolo's now rolling round over the top, going fast.
Yeah. Quick look behind his shoulder to see where the other competitors are, but I believe he was able to extend his lead a little further.
Yeah, we see a little bit of a speed difference here between Manon and Manolo. Obviously, for the girls, they're on a smaller sail. They're on the 8 meter. It's nearly as fast upwind, but downwind, just having that bigger parachute drags the boys down a little bit quicker.
No
so
doubt
Manon's technique looks great, but Manolo, just with a 9 meter, he's just getting a little bit pulled off. But, you know, that's the way it is. She'll be happy and just looking to keep push through.
Nice,
and Manolo's just keeping the pressure on Andy.
Very nice jibe. He got away clean, no touchdown. Now pumping for his life and continuing that race.
Yeah,
being able to extend a little bit further his lead.
Yeah, no, they're really separated now. With this length of race and the amount of dirty wind off the sails, the gaps get bigger and bigger.
And then we can see Tuva Oppedal right now in the screen.
They're approaching mark number 3. They're going to be jibing round. Backhands going back down the boom. Hopefully really sheeting in. A bit of a lay-down style that we would see in slalom. That'd be ideal. But no, they're just, both girls opting to just stay high, fast on the foil, and then hook in and get it going as quick on the reach as they can. Okay.
I mean, Tuva also had a great day yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
She was super happy when she came off the water at the end of
her
the day.
plan today, she was going to send the start and then kill it thereafter. We can see she is. Her back foot's in the strap. She's pushing her bum as low down as she possible. She lets the board ride up under her feet and go as fast as she can. And you can see she's really closing up the gap on Lola.
Yeah, she's having some good ground speed there. Look.
Lola's back foot out. You know, but she's in control. Actually, when you're in front, it's just about defending for her right now and making sure she sets up for a really nice mark rounding as we approach mark number 4 and the committee boat.
Oh, look at this image. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, the girls are saying that it's just stunning also competing with such a background, you know?
Yeah, it's really, really nice. But look how tight it is. They've done 3 laps of the course and they're separated by, what, 5 meters max, and Tuva is fighting till the very end.
And closer.
Really big range of pumping, dropping her bum down to set. Just give her a bit of time as she fatigues and needs to catch her breath. But they're fighting for their life.
Ay, ay, ay. Tuva is really going all in.
I think that is the race-winning move that we might now see. Tuva is known to be one of the best tackers in the fleet, and just giving herself that inside option should allow her to tack when Lola tacks, and then have the freedom to escape out the corner. And all on the exit of that tack. If she can pull a foil tack, then she'll be clear. But it's real comparison between the two tacks. We see Lola doesn't commit for the foil tack, but she's actually a good one, and she stays out planing. Tuva didn't manage a foil tack, but was up on the foil a little bit quicker. So it's really, really tight, and it will be about whether she can come out of the harness and do some pumping or get on the uphaul to really squeeze up and see if she can steal that lane from underneath.
Very curious to see now who will be arriving in the upwind mark earlier.
But you know what? The lake is long. There's at least 2 or 3 tacks for them to get up there. And so as, you know, there's still a bit of time for it to play out, and they have 2 more manoeuvres to do. It looked like Tuva was climbing a little bit, but we'll see. We're just now looking at Manolo. He's absolutely flying on the reach. Really good speed, good control. Yeah, both feet in. He now takes his back foot out the strap into the middle of the board as he sets to cant the board round and swing it up as close. You see their backs and backs of the harness nearly hitting that mark on the back of the boat before he unleashes into another wave of pumping.
Oh my God, yeah. He's really living the motto, you know, you got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. Really living up to it.
It's whatever song keeps you going when you're winning.
Yes, and maybe this is one of the songs he's singing in his mind, you know?
Maybe. He seems to have left Andy Brown in his wake. We can't even see him, but we know there's quite a few boys who've just gone round the leeward mark by how high they are on the exits, looking for that clean wind as they mix through the fleet. Nice tack into both straps quickly, and then he's going to look to do at least 5 to 8 pumps to get his board up to top speed and also up to his best angle. Andy follows behind, is going to throw a tack in the corner. It's crazy how close they can get to the road. Here,
I mean, they're almost on the road, you know, 2 meters away from it, but you don't want to lose any meters, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly distracting for some of the drivers probably, but yeah, they're really trying to make the most of the lake to cut down the amount of manoeuvres, but also get up a little bit higher, make sure they keep some clean wind and have their fresh slice of the wind.
Absolutely. Okay, Manolo absolutely cruising, loving it. I mean, look, we can even see the foil underneath the board from that angle. Beautiful, beautiful shots.
As they come higher up on the foil mast and reduce the amount of drag, we see that black front wing become visible. You know, you're almost dicing with death. If that comes out just a little bit too much and it breaches the surface, we'll see quite the spectacular crash.
I mean, so far we have to say the level is just so high, but obviously can go fast that you push just that little bit too much. You go out of control and then you crash.
You can see he's
pushing. But in general, we haven't seen so many crashes so far.
Yeah, you could see he was pushing pretty hard there because actually there was a few touchdowns and he just hit quite a wind shift. It caused the sail to massively oversheet and he's bared away. It's not the drone changing position. It's actually the wind shifting, which has just caused him to have to aim a little bit lower down so he can keep moving. Throws in the tack now. Rig onto the back. Ooh, very lucky man.
Oh my God, I thought
man.
He's going to crash backwards. I mean, this is one of the things here that we just said. The air is so thin. So obviously 20 knots here or 22 knots or whatever are not the same, or not having the same pressure in the air as they would be at the ocean, you know? Yeah. So to be honest, I've seen many people crashing like this because they just overdid it a little bit.
It's so easy to flop him backwards. You're almost in the water start position. I can only imagine what his coach Dario would have been thinking. He'll be sat there in the binoculars. I can't even explain the words that he may be using as he's just, you know, tense, sat on his seat, hoping for the best. You know?
I mean, honestly, if you're falling like this is worse than having a massive catapult, you know, because then at least it's spectacular. Like this,
yeah, it takes quite a while to recover from as well.
All right, and we're continuing this marathon, going into lap number 4.
Yeah, it is lap number 4. And I think if just checking in at the results, Manolo's currently in 8th position. He has 62 points, but this first place is likely to take him well up the board, maybe even into the top 5.
Oh yes.
Ooh, yeah, big lead change. So actually, maybe Lola and Tuva got all a bit too wrapped up in each other, and there was actually it wasn't about focusing on each other, it was about focusing on the next bit of wind is. And we see as a result, Kristina Pinisova, last year's Youth World Champion, take the lead. She's really flying off in front.
Wow, interesting one. What happened over there? Oof.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to catch up with her. She's obviously been struggling with the senior board after being so successful with the white youth board that's a little bit narrower and a different technique. But she had a few days with Andy Brown. He was obviously trying to give her a little bit of help and explain how to use the blue board, the big blue board, and it seems to really be showing now a few days into the regatta, and she's unleashed the speed with a massive lead.
Yeah, exciting one.
Yeah, it's really
very
clear
good tactical decision, and obviously very good ground speed as well. I mean, she just catched up from behind.
Yeah, for sure, good ground speed there to make a change. But there might have been a little bit of a lull. You know, we did say it got a little bit cloudier earlier.
Yeah.
The clouds over, as we see, up towards the Maloya Pass, upwind from where we are now, might have just stopped that little heating effect as the wind runs off the glacier and caused it to be a little bit more inconsistent down the course. Yeah, back to Kristina. She's obviously approaching the leeward mark. We cannot see it, Mark 2. Maybe she's got a few more jibes to do, but she's really going. Her back foot seems to be right out on the side of the board. It's not on the top of the... it was on the top of the strap. I was thinking, it's actually a really challenging way to sail because the foot strap is squidgy and it doesn't give you a good contact. But now she's right out on the side of the board, pushing really hard and trying to keep that rig forward as she looks to accelerate and build the speed.
Yeah, I mean, interesting week also for her, you know. Having kind of a, let's say medium good start, improving a little bit worse again, and then today she knows she needs to go full in.
Yeah, she's had a few big scores in both the slalom and in the course racing, and she rounded it off with a consistent but not great day with just results outside the top 10, but it kept her in 7th overall, and it's given her this opportunity to really show what she can do in the marathon. And as a double points race, she's sitting with 90 points overall. Ooh, as I look, she's going to be up to 5th place at least.
That's obviously a big game changer, you know, these double points today for many of the girls.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the girls, they've raced as a one fleet. There's 47 of them. They've raced as one fleet all week. So actually the points gaps have started to get a little bit bigger. You know, the top 4 of the Norwegians and the Israelis might be safe for now, but Kristina can overtake a few. Lucy Belbioch, who was having a great race, she's in 5th currently, and Darcy Shaw, who's in 9th, but she'll overtake them after this marathon result and bring herself into the top 5 if she can keep it up.
Absolutely cruising and having a good time over there, huh?
Yeah, really flying. It's just such a nice feeling when you're in the lead. Well, I hope it is. I hope she's enjoying it. You know, and not just stressing and nervous about how she can hold on. Last lap, we were talking about Lola and Tuva and how that might be the race-defining move based on how they came out of a foil, and shows how quickly it can change with Kristina taking the lead on that upwind and really locking in with a 250-plus meter lead now.
I mean, anything is possible until the very end, so we don't need to spoil it too early, obviously. But yeah, going into the final round now.
Yeah, I'm trying to count the laps in my head, and I think... Yeah, so Andy's closed up the gap. Manolo got a really big lead at one point, but I think he's now approaching, and they are building up to their final lap, and we'll be looking at how he approaches this jibe mark. Can he cut down the amount of distance he needs to sail to close the gap further on Manolo?
I mean, obviously the maneuvers are always the, let's say, critical parts of the race. So a lot can happen in the maneuvers, as we've seen throughout the last days.
I think we want to look beyond if it's a dry maneuver. You know, then we're looking, you know, hoping they don't fall in. Then it's about the distance they can stay, or how high they can stay on the foil and keep the speed on, and also doing it tighter so they can get that speed back on as quick as they can. They're now approaching the finish boat, and I believe they're going to have one more lap to go.
I mean, I started to get dizzy, you know, with so much action going on. Everybody just flying around.
As we approach the boat, it should signify to us they'll be flying a yellow iQFOiL class flag, which is the Gold Fleet's flag, and then they'll have a number of laps on the back of it, and then we'll know. I have a feeling, because Manolo's taken his hand off. he has finished.
Oh,
that was the final.
yes.
He's very, very pumped about it.
Oh my God, very well deserved. That was a very tough one. Wow, look how happy he is. Absolutely
happy.
enjoying.
He's done plenty of training with Andy Brown.
Yes.
I think he'll be really, really pleased to have him on this one after so many speed tests to actually keep him away.
And I mean, honestly, winning is never easy, but especially when you had such a hard race, a marathon with 5 rounds and really fighting and pumping for it, then I believe it feels double as good, you know?
Yeah, I think we've seen a few go through already. Andy Brown gets a second in that race, and that means he'll move into the overall lead. We've seen Finn Hawkins go through, but I might have also seen a yellow bib. I don't know if that was Leonardo Tomasini. The event bibs, amazing. You see lots of the sailors continue to wear them that the Silver Plana ENGADINWIND event provides. It can be a little bit confusing with that yellow bib at points, so we're just waiting to see who has gone through. So both Andy and Finn have finished. Eli lifting coming through here in 4th. And it's just, where is Leonardo Tomasini? We've jumped back round to the girls' race. Christina still has a nice lead. It looks like Lola and Tuva are right at the top of the screen. They're so far away now. It's been crazy how she's been able to extend.
Yeah, crazy. Very good ground speed. And yeah, she must have been made some very, very good tactical decisions. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's This is the most stressful part of it, is the tack. And as this wind has just dropped down a little bit, doing a tack you come off the foil completely. And if there's not enough wind to get going at all, you might just be sat marooned for a while. And at points in the really light races that we see, we'll actually see the guys and girls doing jibes upwind to help them stay on the foil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, going on for that upwind mark. Oh, she's flying though, huh?
She's still got a way to go, but yeah, with good ground speed, there's no risk of them falling off the foil. The sail, you know, it's got quite a lot of downhaul on. She'll have a fair amount of outhaul on as well, upwind, so that sail can cut through the air like a knife and build apparent wind over it, which helps her to just aim a little bit higher.
Exactly.
Okay. But lovely shots. A nice bit of cant on the board. She's obviously leaning off the rig quite a lot, trying to hang as much weight through the harness as she possibly can, so she can drive that through the mast base. But yeah, good speed. And as we see, as we look up, she's got the same view as us nearly, and she can see where those dark patches of water are, of what might be a gust, and it looks like there's just about enough wind as she goes towards the corner to make a safe manoeuvre out. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit. We're approaching a little gust now. We'll probably see her get lifted up slightly. The clue of the sail comes out slightly as she builds a little bit more speed, and that's the perfect time for her to do a tack to maximise the wind she's got in the sail to exit. It feels like it's probably only 11 to 14 knots now. It's really dropped down.
Yeah, the wind has definitely dropped. I mean, obviously from the drone shots, it always looks lighter, you know, because it's from above. But we can clearly see that they're not the same white caps on the water as they were like 1.5 hours ago and so on.
And also in this wind, like the iQFOiL equipment is, even for me, is absolutely wonderful to sail in 10 to 14 knots. Beautiful. It goes where you want it to go. It can sit nice and balanced, and you can see her now approaching a bit more wind as the wind moves the athlete around a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very interesting to see. There are just some of the riders who are loving the strong winds and really performing in them, and then there are riders who are stronger in the lighter winds. This is often also depending on the home spots they're used to, you know. Yeah, but in ideal case, you're the perfect all-around rider and getting along and being able to adapt to all kind of conditions, no matter how strong the wind is.
Size and weight is definitely a factor. Gear setup, gear selection also matters, but the basics, how you set up for go fast, how you set up to make your manoeuvres possible is what really defines how fast you're going to be around the racecourse. She's lengthened her harness lines just so she can drop and sit down as much as she possibly can through the harness, almost folding in the middle to absorb the power before she starts bearing away. Okay. We're actually getting some overtakes here. Christina's still well in the lead. She's just overtaking one of the younger Italian girls, I think from Torbole. Just here for her first international event, a bit of experience. What's really nice to see in the girls' fleet is actually there's so many of them that are working together, trying to help each other out, and we're seeing the level at the back really be closing up with the front as seeing the gaps close up between the front and the back of the fleet. And so then we can keep keep getting better and better racing. Going back to Christina now, she's all on her own. I think she's got like a 300-metre lead, so she's just taking it easy, keeping her eye on the pressure, and just sailing nice and sensibly. Back foot goes in the strap, allows her to get a little bit more speed out the kit.
I mean, this is the moment where you basically just need to remain very focused, you know? You've been able to extend your lead. Now you just need to bring it home safe and sound.
Yeah,
and
the fatigue starts to set in.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
They start to get a little bit more tired, but we've
But yeah,
got to just keep it stable. And you saw the wind just drop out. She almost like fell in backwards. The sail moved towards her as she's just trying to navigate this really unstable wind that she's got over on that right-hand side of the course.
Yeah, looks a bit gusty over there, that's for sure. Oh, but now we can see the girls. They're actually quite close.
And yeah, so this is the battle for 2, 3, 4. Interestingly, with the points gap between Maya, Tuva and Lola, might decide who's going to make that grand final or not. Looks like we have got Maya Gisley in the lead. She's now back to second after a difficult downwind, with Tuva Opperdout in third and Lola Sarin back to fourth. Can she use the reach to her advantage and really send it?
Let's see. I mean,
okay.
Last meters are approaching. The end of the race can be seen. I'm sure the girls are also very looking forward to it.
Yeah, the fatigue would definitely be in. We can see through our commentary studio, we can hear a lot of the men coming in and they're exhausted. They're lying down. They're just trying
out
to...
of breath, completely
yeah, exactly.
out of breath. And imagine, they're super in shape, you know, so...
yeah, it's just, this is what racing for, 50 minutes now, 55 minutes really does to them. You know, it's hard to manage this kit while staying focused on the racing. You know, we as the commentators were even struggling to count the laps, so no, I can't imagine how hard it was for the athletes.
Exactly.
Christina's safely around the mark. She's unhooked for the rounding just to make it a bit more safe and secure. Sometimes it takes off that mast foot pressure and the foil can go a bit crazy, but she mastered it no problem. Looking very comfortable, and it's really nice to see these shots. We've got a drone in front, we've got a drone behind. Maybe she'll give us a wave.
Superstar moment.
You know, I think it's probably she can just hear them, how close they are to her.
Yes.
But that's the sign you're winning. You know, if you're leading in this fleet, the cameras are going to be on you. So smile, enjoy it, and make the most of it as we approach final jibe as we go towards the end of this marathon.
A little bit of a touchdown, but
Oh,
there she
nice and
goes for her
safe.
final reach.
It's, yeah, nice and tight. But she's up and going. She's safe. She'll be seeing the other girls coming down the reach now, knowing that life is easy for her, unless she has a crazy crash.
I mean,
It's
it seems
all
like
gonna
the
be
drone
good.
is almost struggling to catch up with her, so
Yeah.
speedy she is,
And
you know.
Yeah. And the second and third, fourth battle, they seem to have separated a little bit more. Maya Gisley, she's in second, with Tuva in third. But for now, we're focusing on Christina. This is a great result for her. Going to move her up to the top 5. And let's see if it goes any further, depending on the results of some of others that were in the top 4. Daniela Peleg, we've never seen in the top 10 in the scores today so far.
And there we
so
go,
she could be anywhere.
Christina just crossing that final line. Oh my God, beautiful. What a race from her. I mean, incredible. What a performance, huh?
Yeah, we get the celebration, the little fist pump, the bounce of the foil, really putting the weight through, and now she's just going to celebrate.
Yes, that's
Thumbs
one
up.
happy girl.
Yeah, probably incredibly tired, but I don't recommend going swimming in the lake here. It's a little bit cold.
No, because it's fresh. I mean, don't let yourself fool you by the turquoise water. It can heat up to 20 degrees in summer when it's really warm, but usually it's around 15, 14,
Yeah,
something
maybe a little
like
bit
this.
less. You won't catch me going for a morning
No,
swim.
me neither. And you know, the thing is, I mean, you don't want to crash because obviously it impacts your result, but also because the water is very cold.
And coming in second, we have Maya Gisley. Really nice result for her. That will secure. Ooh, no, it won't. It'll bring her a lot closer to Tamar, but I think she might be able to hold her off. Tuva Opperdow comes in third. That'll bring her up to third in the results. And Lola Sarin, she was the cut girl. She was in 10th, but with a solid 4th place result, she really improves her chances of making this medal races tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the girls are definitely very consistent here.
Yeah, the top girls, they're going fast.
Yes.
That's the real difference. They're putting a lot of time in. Both the Israeli and the Norwegian girls, and Lola, to be fair, they've had really extensive summers. You know, they didn't qualify for the Olympics. Maybe Lanzarote didn't go as well as they wanted, but they've stayed focused all summer. They've been in Marseille training hard. They've been to Garda, and they've kept training together to work towards this event. And actually, we're seeing that really pay off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Consistency and adaptation is still the key.
Yep. And in 5th place, we have Tamar Steinberg. Not sure where she is exactly. And then Lucy Belbioch is also having a great race, which is going to secure herself in the top 10 as well. Alice Reed, good. She's flying along on the reach. She's one of the smaller girls, but she makes it work. You know, she's got a slalom background. She did PWA slalom for a long time. It was difficult for her to do both, but you can see that reaching technique, how low she can sit down in the harness, and she's putting Lucy under pressure in front of her.
Yeah, very, very curious to see what that might change. I mean, what this result might change in her overall results.
Yeah, I think for Alice, she was obviously in 12th. She was, it's a little way. She had 10 points to catch up with Lola, but she had a great race. But the girl in 9th, Manon, was on 92 points, so it's a long, long way for Alice to go. But she's just got to do what she can do. She's on the final reach. She's staying nice and competitive. Okay. It's never over till it's over, and the battle is behind. We see Darcy Shaw against Ola. They're fighting for 8th and 9th. Darcy's been closing up that whole of the penultimate reach, and now on this final reach, they're going to be coming in with speed, and it looks like Darcy might be rolling over. Where's the end of that finish line? Yeah, she's bared away, and she takes the 8th place against Ola. Good. And then we've got Barbara coming in. Yeah, Barbara coming in for 10th. Which is solid. She was starting really well on the previous days, but the marathon start didn't really work for her, and we haven't seen her use the upwind speed to her full potential.
Yeah, I mean, very looking forward to talk to the girls and everyone later to get those insights from the water, because, I mean, it's been such a long race and all these different rounds and different things and dynamics coming together. So, super interesting.
Yeah, I think we see... I think we see Zara Osborne going along that reach. It's pretty good for her. And this is Nella Sadalakova. She's still a youth sailor, yeah. She's still a youth sailor, competing for the Czech Republic, but using these events to build her experience. She looks to go towards a full senior campaign next year. You know, really nice stance, really locked in. Looks like she was going full speed to the finish, not giving anyone the chance to catch up with her.
Yeah, great performance. I mean, throughout, great performance from all the girls.
Who is that? That's Sophia Renner going through, and Mama Courtier, and then Sophia Meyer coming through. Not bad for any of those. Might be a struggle. That's interesting. Daniela Pegaleg has just gone through. I'm going to guess that's like a 17, 18. And if you have to count both of those, that's really going to affect her in the results. So we'll have to see where she ends up.
Yeah, let's have a look at the results. I mean, in first place, absolutely smashing this race, Kristina Pinosova from Czech Republic. In second place, Maja Gisler, Norway 21, followed by Tuva Oppedal, Norway 21, followed by Lola Serene in fourth position, Tamar Steinberg in fifth.
And she will retain the lead with that, hopefully, with Lucy Belbioch in sixth, Alice Reed, Britt Double in 7, and Darcy Shaw in 8, followed by Ola Wasiak, from Poland in 9, and Barbara Sikova in 10.
Great job, girls. I mean, absolutely flying. Shout out to them. Must have been a very, very tough one.
Yeah, really, really tough. We can see them breathing pretty heavy as they carry their gear out through the window. And so, yeah, but they're still coming through. Just gone through the line, we've had Lena Erzin. She was at the Olympics. She qualified through the last chance regatta. She's known for sending on the reaches, but she's had a difficult week getting the gear set up right for the lake and getting herself back onto top form. You know, she won the PWA Japan last year, didn't she? With some crazy sailing.
I mean, she's an amazing sailor, you know, like really all around, what a woman, and pushing through. And she's also still so young, so, you know, there's everything possible for her.
It's really hard. And there's so many in the fleet, and they're pushing so many sides of the tray. We can see all the kit now on the shore, see them stacked up. They're still ready to go. The guys have come in, they'll be refueling, to do more races potentially later. Now we're going to look at the highlights and the race recap of the men's marathon and
exactly.
see what went down to find the winner.
I mean, some very exciting moments here. I mean, the start, obviously amazing. One of the key moments of the race. Rabbit starts.
Yeah, so rabbit start. And what ended up paying was the starboard start up towards the top. But actually, some of our leaders didn't have the best starts. They ended up going to the right-hand side early. We thought Leonardo Tomasini had nailed it. But actually, getting into that right early really helped bring him out. Manolo covered across. And then after that, once he was in the lead, he never looked back. Sebastian Schara from Switzerland, he was round in second, but faded, with Andy Brown chasing him down hard and keeping Manolo on his heels for a lot of the race.
I mean, Manolo was doing an amazing performance because defending your position throughout the whole race, basically, it's very, very tough.
Yeah, we've seen.
We could see that for the girls' fleet, it didn't work out that way, and for the guys, it's been incredible to see Manolo defending throughout the whole time.
Keeping the lead in a very, very gusty, shifty venue where the dark patches on the water are making such a difference on the speeds the athletes can do. It has been really good. Manolo seemed to use, seemed to use the other sailors on the water to his advantage to create some gaps and keep Andy behind him, but we can't blame him. You know, at one point he probably had a 200-300 meter lead, but towards the end, Andy started to close up, and then at the finish, it was Manolo who took the win. He was pumped about it. He knows that's going to bring him into the medal race.
That's what we want to see, you know, those emotions as soon as you cross the finish line.
And also showing that he's a little bit older than Fede and Leonardo, that he's still the boss, or wants to be, certainly. And he's not they're not letting those younger guys overtaking him anytime soon.
I mean, if you ask one of them three, they would all say, no, I am the boss, you know. So depending who you would ask.
I feel so sorry for their coach Dario dealing with those guys in the competition within the group. But now as we look towards the results going in, obviously Manolo took the win. Andy Brown, second overall leading into today's marathon race, actually coming second, with Finn Hawkins coming third. Eli lifting in fourth. He was fourth overall, so a fourth right now is good to maintain that. With Joost Vink also, they're all in the top six, those guys, and Leonardo Tomasini in sixth place, which was great for him to, just keep close to the lead. Andy might overtake him, but actually just not taking too much risk. You can't do it all. And then down in seventh, we have Sebastian Scherer. He was second at the first mark. Maybe he needs to work on that speed, but after the difficult first day he had with 2 OCSs and a DNC, it's great to see that one climbing up the fleet.
Absolutely. And then in 8th position, we have Michal Polak from Poland. He also had a very great day yesterday, actually. I talked to him actually later in the afternoon, and he kind of has a little shoulder injury, which he's dealing with. Unfortunately, he's a little bit in pain, so hopefully it seems like he's dealing well with it. And he was still performing very well today, so I hope for him that he's feeling better, actually, and that his shoulder will remain in place like this, you know.
He'll be all right. He's a big, tough boy, isn't he? And then in 9th place, we have Max Kastelin from the Netherlands. Maybe a little bit frustrated with that. I think he's one of the very fastest guys in the fleet. Yeah. He'll be annoyed with a 9th, especially as a double points counter. And then in 10th is Dominik Lewinsky.
From Poland.
A great result. You know, we were talking about him yesterday, and I said he had some amazing races when we were on the live stream. He was down in 35th position entering the gold fleet. And going into today, he was in 15th place. Ooh, and it's a few points off the medal race. We had in 10th place with 69 points is Thomas Bernat. It might be a little bit too much to do with him on 109, but he's not helped his cause and taking his sailing in his right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, I guess we see some of the results. I think some other standouts in the men's. Oof, we've lost it, but that's fine. As we see some sailors coming back on the water. We've actually got the Silver Fleet going out. They did their marathon race earlier, and they, when the wind was a little bit lighter alongside the Engadine race, they're now heading out for a few more races. I'm assuming they're probably going to be doing some course racing. But let's just see how that goes. But there go again as
Exactly.
it's coming out. And it's always a bit busy and difficult on the beach, but hopefully no equipment's going to get
Rush
damaged.
hour. I like to call it rush hour, you know. But obviously, I mean, the guys just finished the race, coming in now. They need to recharge a bit, get some air back, get some breath back, have a little bit of a chit chat with their coaches. And yeah, so far it's been another amazing day here in Silvaplana in the Engadin.
Yeah, really good. You know, the marathon race is one of the big spectacles of the IQ class. And with the double points, it can really make a difference on what the results are. Okay.
Definitely. And I mean, as I said earlier, and yeah, let's have a look at the recaps of the women's.
The women's marathon race, it was certainly a topsy-turvy one. The places changed. The girls got really close to the boat. They were really aggressive. They learnt from the men's start that
Favourite
actually you wanted to
moments.
be up towards the boat end, and so they were so busy, but it made it really hard for some to get off the line. It looked like initially Tuva Opperdow, Lucy Belbioch, Maya Gisley were doing amazing, but it changes all the time. Julia Gomez as well, she was up there in the top 5, but as the race evolved, we saw some different leaders. Lola had an amazing first downwind. I don't know where she came from really, but it seemed like she was going 3 or 4 knots faster, and she ended up getting in the lead and holding off Maya, but it wasn't over till it was over. The race was always extending, and with them 5 laps to go, it then became about successful clean maneuvers and keeping yourself in pressure.
I mean, the girls absolutely showed us how it's done. Amazing action on the water today. I mean, it couldn't have been any better, right?
Yeah, no, it was topsy-turvy in the girls. You know, on the 3rd lap, we saw Tuva Opperdow coming in. She's known for sending on the reach. That was just her whole thing. She was going to send it and kill it. She went like crazy on the reach, and she really closed up to Lola Sorin. But actually, on that beat, I thought it was the most important bit on the foil tack, but something else happened.
Yes.
And Kristina Pinisova, who knows? She took a massive lead. Lake Silvaplana offers all the challenges. You know, you never know until it's over. And actually, at that point, she was then had a good gap and was able to lead out the fleet. The girls behind, my guys, Gisley came back into it, and she was fighting against Tuva and Lola as they battled for 2nd and 3rd, 4th, which allowed Kristina to escape out the front and really build up her lead. Hopefully it wasn't too stressful while she was taking the lead and she could enjoy it. And then she comes
On the water, because I mean, it's been a marathon, 5 rounds, a lot of time on the water out there. So yeah, let's catch up with some of the guys. So welcome to the studio, Manolo Modena from Italy. Manolo, how are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so far so good, I would say. Good way to kick off the day. I knew that I was not in a very strong position before today, and coming into the last day of races before the medal race. So yeah, I would say so far I'm happy. I just wanna do some 2 good last races and try to get the strongest position as I can for going into tomorrow's medal race.
Can you please give us some insights from the water? Because I know it's been a very long race, and we could see in the beginning of the race the wind was a bit stronger, and then we could see some clouds moving in, the wind dropping a bit. So how was it really out there?
Yeah, so I would say I try to keep my view on the clouds, and as well on the other competitors that were catching up, especially Andy Brown catching up on me slowly. So because yeah, he was faster than me on the downwind, but I was managing to keep him behind and put maybe some more distance on the upwinds. So yeah, it was just a bit stressful to keep looking behind you and seeing Andy catching up with you, but it was also fun because I had the privilege to train with him for the past, I would say, like 3 months, but it's even more than that. So it was definitely good fun.
Amazing. I mean, this is also what we've been discussing before here in the booth. Like, attacking is something different than actually defending your position. And you have been defending your position throughout basically the whole race, you know, looking throughout your shoulder maybe once or twice. And how important do you think it is to know actually the strengths and the weaknesses of the other competitors?
Well, I didn't really. Well, Andy so far had been very consistent. So I could a little bit notice already that he would be strong, but I have never led a coast race or an upwind race in this competition, so I couldn't really do many provisions on it. So yeah, I was just seeing what was happening time by time. So.
Okay. And what was actually your highlight of this race now, if you would like to point out one highlight?
I would say the first upwind was the crucial part. I mean, you take the lead early on, and if your overall speed is good, then and also you have to be there with the head, of course, but you can keep the lead until the end.
Amazing. And you've been talking about training together with Andy like the last 3 months. Can you give us some little insight about how this training went in Lake Garda?
I would say that it was pretty much as it was normally, but just with Andy. So him being a strong competitor, I was just benefiting from it.
Okay. And how is it for you? I mean, you're actually a lake boy, and we're competing here in Lake Silvaplana. How is it for you to be here in beautiful Engadin?
Yeah, so I would say it's nothing new for me because it's my 5th year in a row that I've been here. It's ever since 2020. So yeah, I kind of knew the place, but each year you get a bit faster, maybe on the upwind, maybe you get slower. You have some gains and some losses, maybe, or you just not gain in all the areas. So each time you have to kind of figure out where you are with all the competitors because everybody's pushing so hard. So yeah, that was it.
Definitely. All right, so would you like maybe to send out some greetings at home to your Italian team and everybody spectating from Lake Garda?
Yeah, I don't really know who's watching, but if you're watching, like, shout out to you. Thank you for supporting me. And yeah, I hope you have something to watch.
All right. Thank you so much, Manolo, and good luck.
Thank you.
And it was great to see some of the women's highlights there. We just finished the women's marathon and whisking straight off the beach in here we have Kristina Pinisova. It was a really challenging race. What was the make or break move for you in the racing today?
I think I kept trying to keep the lead, but sometimes I went lower in 4th place and sometimes on 2nd. But the breaking point was when the girls in front of me, Tuva and Lola, dropped, and I could fly away. And
how were you feeling? So obviously Tuva and Lola, they had a little lead, didn't they? It wasn't too much. You kept them under pressure through the race. What were you thinking when you saw them drop off the foil?
I was thinking just keep this lead, and yeah, I was hoping to win, and it did, so.
Nice, and well done. What were you feeling once you were in the lead? Were you looking back or were you looking ahead? What was your focus on then once you had got the lead?
Of course, I was checking if they are catching some gusts that I didn't see or everything else. But I kept trying to focus on going upwind, and then downwind was kind of fun and easy because I had lead.
Very nice. It was certainly enjoyable to watch. It's great to see when the racing is so tight and we've got to see the course, positions change all the time. For you, you were 7th. Where does that now leave you going in towards tomorrow's medal race?
No, I think I won't be able to climb up to top 3 as I wanted in the first place, but I think top 5 is also okay, but still it's quarterfinals and I'm not very happy about it, but what can I do?
Yeah, sometimes when you're in that position and you're between 4th and 10th, it's all up in the air, isn't it? And you can go in 4th and then suddenly you're down to 10th with a letters, with being over the line or not having the best race. So, but no, well done. You've certainly locked in that result as we are right now. And then I guess, yeah, what have you got planned for the rest of the day?
Just keep sailing in top 5, top 10 and enjoy.
Yeah, keep going. Thank you very much. I think it's been really useful to hear that. And then it's just now. Cool. Cool. Yeah, we're going to actually take a look at the lead of the race. So final jibe, little bit of a touchdown.
Yes,
How-
I was pretty. I was just keeping very, very careful, and yeah, I knew that I had lead, and I was just going slowly. I wasn't even pushing.
You weren't pushing, not looking for any swimming, but then, yeah, really making the most of it at the end, and we could see the enjoyment and actually where you want to be. I guess the question now, closing up into 5th, the Norwegians and the Israelis in front of you, what are you going to do to beat them as we finish out the regatta?
That's a good question. I guess I will try to sail the best as I did now, and we will see.
Thank you very much. It's been really interesting to see. And obviously, for you, thanks for coming in, because you're so exhausted after a long race like that. It's difficult to stay energized, keep it on top, and obviously with the potential for more races on the way, we'll let you go and best prepare. So good luck.
Thank you
very much.
Thank
Okay?
you so much.
Cool. Thank you. Well done. Cool.
Oh, what an exciting day it's been so far. I mean, it's amazing. It's been amazing to see the marathon format. I think something interesting, and you know, we had slalom, we had the course racing, we had the marathon today, so a bit of everything. That's how we like it, right?
Yeah, the marathon race really brings something different to the game. It's trying to challenge the athletes in a different way. It's a different way of starting. It puts everyone on a level pegging field together, but also it becomes a bit of a speed race, and actually it's about endurance and fitness, and at the altitude here that becomes really important.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this stunning image of Lake Silvaplana. You can actually see, like, let's call it boat park with all the iQFOiL gear at the beach. You can see Silvaplana in the background. You can see actually further away St. Moritz, the close by town. And yeah, I mean, it's just out of a National Geographic movie, this image, you know. I mean, Lake Silvaplana, like this whole area here is very, very famous for all kind of activities throughout the winter, throughout the summer, skiing. Actually, fun fact, did you know that St. Moritz has been the first ski resort in the world? I mean, it's a little bit off topic. They're just saying that you can do literally whatever you want in this beautiful area. Wing foiling, windsurfing, all kind of winter water sports, bringing together all kind of people sharing the same passion for wind and sports.
Unfortunately, we don't see many of the athletes. They have to be really focused on their campaign. You know, even after having Christina in the booth and Manolo, you know, it's great to have a little chat with them, but actually they've got to refocus, and they spend the whole year super focused actually on how they're going to deliver the best possible out there. And as we come back and we see on screen, we're actually going to go into some more racing. We've got some Silver Fleet action, which is awesome to see. Those guys don't always get the screen time, but this is their special day, and the Silver Fleet men are going to be doing some course racing. Okay, it's going to be a 2-lap race, very similar to yesterday, but the start is going to be different. There's no rabbit. You can start on either tack, and we can go from there. And yeah, the Silver Fleet, loads of different nations.
Exactly.
Bringing everyone into the fleet. We've got guys from Ukraine, we've got guys from India, Japan, all over the world have actually come to join in this Under-23 World Championships, and it's such a melting pot.
I mean, honestly, this is actually one of my favorite parts, and this is actually, I believe, the beauty also of this class, like bringing together so many nations. And this is actually one of the things that I also always loved about windsurfing the most, to have friends around the whole world, to be able to train together with the whole world, and to actually share the same passion with so many different friends from all over the world.
Yeah, really nice. And they all worked together. You saw everyone there. They were there, standing there on the mast, holding their watches, trying to set the timing. And if you missed it, I'm sure one of your mates. But that now, with them their watches set, the 3-minute warning gone. Now with just over 2.5 minutes to go, they're off. They're warming up. They're going to go check out that start line a little bit more as they prepare to go into their 17th race of the regatta. It starts adding up, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I mean, it's been already a very, very action-packed day, right? We had the 47th marathon, Engadinwind marathon this morning. We had actually already the men's silver fleet on the water this morning. We already had the gold fleet on the water, the women's. So everybody got already a couple of races, or let's say rounds on this lake under their belts. Most of the riders, yeah, they might be a little bit tired by now, you know, really pulling off already a great performance, and up to the next one.
Yeah, I think it should be interesting to see. You obviously got the marathon. I spoke to some of the guys in Silverfleet before this. You know, for some, they were really waiting for this moment on the live stream. They were saving their energy, ready to smash it. Jack Marquardt from Australia. You know, it's such a long way for him to come, but he's been well involved and he is ready to smash this marathon. He led races in qualifying, but couldn't keep it together. And now we see what the guys are going to do. There's 11 to 14 knots. Well, it's sunny, it's windy, it looks great out there, and we'll see what they can do going into this race.
Exactly. So we have 21 degrees over here, but don't let the sun fool you. It feels way, way fresher, let me be honest, because obviously the wind, the famous Maloya wind, is blowing over the lake, and the water of the lake is quite fresh. So in general, up here the air is, let's say cooler.
It's certainly cool. But don't worry, your barking mad Englishman is still here, just in shorts and t-shirts. He's braving it, whatever, surviving just about here.
Exactly. The Englishman sitting here in shorts and t-shirt, and the Italian lady in winter jacket and long shorts. So you can see quite a little cultural difference.
I'm hoping it's summer still. It's certainly a lot colder back home. We're now approaching the start.
The guys are not cold there on the starting line.
It looks like we've got a
50-50
split. We're looking at the port tack boards. We've got Yakovos from Cyprus, young boy, mid-military service at the moment, but got the freedom to come to this event. And they're just slowly taking their time as they reach down the line with a few others. There's some inexperience here. Maybe not the best hookups, but also some guys looking for the opportunity as one of the last races of their regattas to really jump forwards. The Greek guy leads the charge down the starboard end. He's going to hook up. Another guy's going to be able to cross in front of him or cross behind.
And there we go. I mean, it looked like a good start to me. I can't see any flag.
Yeah, it looks like a clear start.
We see
we see the first Japanese guy, Kenta Nami. He's obviously here as an under 23. He's the first going to the right and going really nicely. He's just gone above that finish board, and so he's heading out to the right. And then here on the right-hand side, got Noam Kubel from Switzerland, Swiss 101.
Local hero.
Local hero, and also marathon winner. So maybe he's the favourite. He is leading out nicely of the bottom of the starboard tack bunch. And then Robin Zile throwing a tack in as they look to dig into the right-hand side. And, as we see more, we see such a variety of sailors, and it's great to see sailors from Ukraine involving everyone in the fleet. And, you know, that's, I think it's one of the fathers, actually, Timur, and he's a coach, and he's one of the dads. His son's also racing, but he's getting involved, which is great to see.
Amazing. So we see the race continuing, the first riders going upwards.
It looks like the right-hand side has been really beneficial here for Kenta Nami.
Again, I mean, we've seen that throughout the whole races during today.
Getting in there early has been really, really good. And then from Hungary, just below him, we have Mate Kozovic. Difficult build-up. For them, they train on Lake Balaton. It's not the windiest place in the world. It's a lake, so maybe it feels the same. But it's very shallow, very warm, and quite light wind. So he'll be loving it here in Silverclana and making the most of the conditions we've got right now.
I mean, there are quite some racers from the lakes, actually.
There's a lot of sailors from lakes who are performing. And, it's not, I think it's certainly, iQFOiL isn't a sport that's limited. It's not like kite surfing, for example, where you need the space to launch. As long as it's a meter deep, there's nothing stopping you coming and getting involved in the class. And the junior and youth pathways are unbelievable. It's great to see sailors from the Optimist. I was chatting to two of the New Zealand boys. We've got Blake Hinsley and Charlie Solly. It's their first international regattas, but actually, for Blake, he came from the P class in New Zealand, or an Optimist, and he came second at FIVA World Championships. But eventually, he saw the light and found the right direction, and he's now back in, and he's gone all the way.
Yes,
with
and we
iQFOiL,
can
and it's
see a
really
lot
good.
of techs coming in and a lot of crossovers, and the fleet approaching the upwind mark.
Yeah, this is Jules Chantrel, a really solid French youth sailor. He's a bit older now. He's moving up. He's studying and working hard. Really disappointing qualifying series for him, but now he's letting rip and he's got that speed free and going. And he's going nice and fast, and I expect he's in the lead currently. He goes to the foil tack, doesn't get the front foot back quick enough, so the board comes back down, but he's pumping like crazy, getting the board back up to speed as he fights for the lead.
And went away straight away very fast again, and pumping for his life now, hooking in again and just going upwind.
He's not getting crossed. I don't think that's a leader. I think that is one of the Swiss juniors who might have done the marathon coming here to experience it. And some of these sailors, you know, he'll be an IQ Junior on a 7-meter sail. He's tiny, but he's really ripping along. And it's great to see he's making the most of being here on Lake Silvaplana. The Swiss obviously come from many, many different lakes with no obvious base, but he's here being inspired by some of the best under-23 sailors as he pushes his sailing across. And actually, as we see, it'll be a close battle. The Polish are coming from the right, from the left as we look.
I mean, you can clearly see a gust over there. Look at that. You can clearly see those white caps on the water. Via the center of the lake is a bit less windy.
It's really nice to see the Polish sailors. Maybe they're in 6 and 7 right now. Those guys have been excelling on the volleyball court. They've had matching shorts. They've looked the part, and they are very, very good actually on the sandpit.
And then we see actually the first races just going along.
Yeah, we've got Jules Chantrel rounding first. A really nice solid. You might have noticed the course might be a little bit different to what the marathon. Because there's not so many guys on the race course, we don't have a spreader mark. They just go around the single mark, which makes it really busy. You know, lots of people dodging and diving and ducking each other, trying to get around the course. I saw someone falling, seen a few people fall off the foil, but for these guys,
some traffic.
They're away and they're going. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some traffic going on these days. I mean, in general, it's a very busy lake. During these days where we have the competition going on here, even more busy, but yeah, great to see, see.
It's great to see, and especially at this Under-23 World Championships, a lot of the guys in the Silver Fleet, this is one of their first internationals at a senior level, and it's all about building experience. And sometimes when you're in Silver Fleet, we think that's the time, you know, you're in Silver, it's game over, go home, there's nothing more I can get out of this event. But this is their opportunity to learn to lead, and hopefully, as they grow, get bigger, get stronger, and get more in tune with the equipment, actually the experience they're getting at the front of the fleet, learning to lead, hold a lead, not get too nervous, is going to really help them in the long run.
Yeah, true. And I mean, no race is finished until the very end, until the very second, so it's very important to stay focused. It doesn't matter if you're in the gold or in the silver, actually. I mean, you need to finish every race, and you just need to give your best every time.
Yeah, we see Jules coming down now. He's approaching the leeward gate. There's going to be 2 marks. He's got the option whether to go right or left, and we'll see. He'll be going right if he does an extra jibe, but if he keeps going straight on to try and save the number of maneuvers, he might be going out to the left-hand side, but that hasn't worked so well today so far.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we can see one of those very nice images, typical images from Lake Silvaplana, you know. There are actually a lot of 3,000 mountains around these lakes here. So, yeah, that's why we have such a beautiful landscape also.
I think we were looking up towards the Corvache, where
yes,
Greta might have been this morning to go and check out the view at such a height too.
Corvache Mountain, one of the highest one here of the area.
They come round. Jules holds his lead, but Noam Kubel, the marathon race winner from Switzerland, he's actually had a really nice rounding and built up quite the lane, which is going to give him the opportunity to match his tack with Jules.
We've
in
seen
4th
actually
place,
some crashes there at
the Polish sailor.
What happened?
Olaf Ozicki, looks like he crashed as he came around the leeward mark, came out the foil a little bit too high and lost control.
Yeah. Maybe we can get some insights of that later, what happened there.
Yeah. But you just see, it's all about, you know, when are you hitting them? Maybe you don't hit the apex of the turn, you're hitting a bit later. It's about an in-wide, out-tight rounding. And for some of them, they've just got too much speed to control this, get into the mark. Okay. Interestingly, look, We see Christian in the boat behind following. He's looking to get some different shots on the boat, but also keep an eye on the race and keep it nice and safe. But Noam is really climbing up the inside. Has he made himself the opportunity to cross Jules? Maybe not yet, but he's probably brought himself a bit more into the race, and he'll be able to dig into the corner, go say hi to that race boarder sat on the side.
And saying hi to the people who are driving by on
Yeah,
the road,
exactly.
you know?
It's crazy how you can get within 10 meters of the race course just in your car here.
Yeah, but let's not give away any meters, that's for sure, because at the very end, those are sometimes those meters who are deciding if you're, you know, crossing first, second, or whatever. So not giving away any meter, that's important.
Yeah, tight racing, that's for sure. Yeah. Nice shot of him side by side. Noam he's still a youth sailor. I saw in Ombrum recently at the European Championships. Had a really strong regatta, and for a lot of the event was in the top 3, top 5. I don't think the medal race went the best for him, but actually doing really, really nicely on the youth kit. But as one of the smaller sailors, he has his back foot out at the side of the board, on the side of the board rather than the foot strap, so he's not too overpowered by the foil, and he can keep making it go where he wants.
And I mean, for all the Swiss competitors, I think it's very exciting because competing at home, you know, competing in front of the home crowd and maybe the families and so on, it's always exciting to compete at home.
Yeah, and we see a potential little splits in the fleet. We got Jakobos Christoph going to the right-hand side, and Olaf Grzycki also going out to the right. They're just making the leaders think a little bit. You know, actually, am I safe? Am I not? That little lull and that loss of breeze, as we saw in the women's marathon, if they drop off the foil, it'll be game over. So just by going a little bit different, creating separation on the race course, they can give themselves a chance. You know, fingers crossed, hope till the very end that it'll bring them back into the race.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. We see Olaf here sailing really nice, sailing on the boom. Really moving around a little bit. It suggests it's quite gusty, or he's trying to really play with his legs to get more cant on the board and go from there. Now tacking here, we see Artun Sanel from Turkey. Nice foil tack there. He was leading the Silver Fleet before the start of today, and it looks like he's climbing back through the fleet as he looks to bring himself up into this second lap as they approach the windward mark. Noam Cabell tacks. Looks like they're tight on the ley line, which is why they're pumping like crazy. And Jules Chantrell's made it very easy. Lovely slick tack. Straight planing out. You know, that's all you can ask for, really. No loss of speed. He was already doing well over 25 knots already.
And off we go. And I mean, we can clearly see that some of the clouds have moved. It cleared up a bit more again, which means that the Maloya wind could go through better again.
It's suddenly a lot windier again. So Arten Sanel, he's round in 3rd. Jakobos is round from Cyprus, is round in 4th. And Olaf Grzycki from Poland is round in 5th. He's one of those sailors from Gdansk, same as Michał Polak, who's 7th at the moment in the seniors, and just really learning as they develop their skills and build, learn from their club mates. It's not just their international comrades, it's learning from their club mates as Poland brings its standard of sailing even higher.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, back to Jules Chantrell. We can see the sun's going down a little bit. That Patrick sail, it almost looks very black and dark, doesn't it?
It looks dark, that's right.
It's certainly a bit harder to see than the lovely bright red and the sea of red of the Severns. But it seems he's making it work for him. He's going nice and fast, and he's holding off Noam for now. Okay, this is the penultimate leg. He's probably jibing for that lured gate mark before he has to do the reach to the finish.
I mean, very clean jibe, huh? No touchdown, straight away, and off we go. I mean, he also seemed to extend his lead for a bit, at least from this angle over here.
Yeah, I think in the course racing conditions and now the wind has filled back in, he's just very, very safe. Hopefully he'll give the camera a little bit of a wave. But I guess everything will be shaking. It's like he's doing this horrible wall sit, which he's been doing for about 20 minutes. His legs will just be vibrating. He's trying to tense in his core. Every day's a leg day with iQFOiL.
Exactly.
And yeah, the drone is on him, front and back, really keeping the pressure on. He knows that he's got to keep this nice and smooth, because I will be really enjoying the crash if it does happen. I can see his coach, Babs Orge, just outside the booth. He's watching patiently, hoping that Jules is going to hold this off. This is his final jibe coming in now. Nice step through.
Looking good.
Yeah, gets the power on. A few pumps, hooked in. and he's just cruising now towards the finish. Noam is still approaching his jibe a little bit further back, and Jules is coming in to win this race, which is great, and certainly where he wants to take his Silver Fleet competition after a difficult qualifying.
Last meters to do, but I would say...
Yeah, last minute, a few more iQFOiL juniors getting involved in the racing. Sometimes they'll learn there's a penalty for being on the course, but not yet. And that's Jules taking the win. Little bit of enjoyment, and he has finished that course racing. It's great to see even more racing going on.
Perfect, very nice one, very good.
Yeah, solid. That's, you know, on the boat, we see some of the local organisers that are helping get the results, and also class secretary Valerie. She's videoing the results to help streamline us getting those to you even quicker, so we can tell you what the overalls after the racing is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ricardo Correa from Madeira, Portugal, just came in 6th.
Crossing that line.
It looked like Olaf Grzycki lost a lot in that second lap, and then we've got Will Ziegler, British youth, coming in 8th, with Robin Zili in 9th, and Mate Kozovic of Hungary in 10th. Okay, really tight here. Really nice racing.
Oh yeah, now they're all coming in together.
Yeah, no, it's always a busy one after a course race as they fly along the reach.
Oof.
Very nice and lovely sailing here in Silverplana. As always, the Maloya wind delivers. The racing is tight, you know, and we can get in so many races.
Yes, I mean, it's been a very successful week so far. Today's already the penultimate day. I mean, the week has been just flying by, you know. When the week is so action-packed, it's just flying every day. All right, let's have a look at the race recap. Some of the key moments of today's race. I mean, obviously the start.
Yeah, the
always
start.
one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, no, it was the start was pretty soft actually, but getting to the right early seemed to be really beneficial and staying in that breeze. As we went up, Jules Chantrell, he had a solid lead from the start. Noam Kobel from Switzerland, he kept him nice. He kept him nice and honest, but it wasn't enough to catch up. Jules just kept the speed on, kept it going nice and fast. Actually, after the marathon race, these guys will be incredibly tired, so we don't see too much pumping, unfortunately.
No.
A little bit from Jakobos as he was stressing to make the mark, but no, Jules held on for the win, sailed smoothly. That's part of learning to lead, is actually dealing with the nerves, keeping nice and calm, not letting those legs wobble and shake too much, that he holds on for the win.
Absolutely, it's been an amazing training day, mindset and also cardio-wise today, you know.
It's all the focus, and you've got to forget that this is day 5 of the regatta. They've done 17 races so far. They'll be incredibly tired. You know, for some, there might be a little party tonight that they're also hoping for, and it's the end of the Engadine Marathon and the prize giving for that. So there'll be, you know, everyone will be enjoying themselves after the day is done.
Exactly, because a little party never killed nobody, right? All right, said this, let's look into the race results after men's silver.
It's interesting. We've got Noam Kobel getting the second. He keeps the pressure on. Jules Chantrell obviously takes the win, and Arten Sanal, the leader overnight, gets a third, solidly keeping him up there in the scores. Jakobos Christopher's from Cyprus is in 4th, and then we see plenty of other under-19 sailors getting themselves in there in the results.
And let's have a look also at the updated rankings, the overall rankings actually, so we can see who is
the
clearly
marathon race,
leading.
how has that made the difference? The marathon has a big impact. It counts for 2 races, of which you can only discard 1. So Leonardo Tomasini and Andy Brown, they were super tight as they were looking for that grand final spot. There was 1 point between them, but suddenly a first and a sixth, or second and a sixth in that race has made a big difference, and Andy now carries. Andy Brown is leading with a 7-point lead. Leonardo Tomasini is in second with 37 points, and he's holding off from Eli Lifting with 47 points. Okay, Finn is in 4th, just outside the points to make that semi-final, guaranteed in 48th, but he's still keeping Eli under pressure with Max and Joost from Netherlands just behind on 54 points each. They'll be battling, although it's not a critical event for them in terms of funding. That's the Europeans in Cagliari, but they'll be looking to see who's the best out of the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Michał Polak, difficult marathon, but he stays in 7 with Manolo Medina. he had a great marathon. We watched him lead the whole entire day. It was great, and he was loving it. And
he
made
had
that
a very
clear.
good day, and it was nice to talk to him, you know, and to get some insights from the water earlier.
And he'll be a little bit gutted, but he was only 3 points ahead of Fede Poloni going before that race. But actually now he's right on the verge of Michał. And let's see, as we go through the day, what else that can bring. David Jurda, we didn't see him in the marathon race. You know, maybe he's invisible. He seems to consistently be getting these top 10 results.
So fast that he was invisible.
Yeah, he seems to consistently get top 10 results, and he's bringing himself. But, you know, keeping a solid 10th place, and he's just jumped ahead of Bernat Thomas. Difficult day. He was a bit nervous going into it. Wasn't so chatty, but actually, average marathon race just brings him just outside, and him with Clement. Ooh, they've got a little bit more. These are the standings as we see, but actually, the racing isn't done yet. They're going out back now to do a little bit more course racing, which is going to change up the game, and maybe these results will change a little bit more as they fight to make it into that top 10 medal race cut, and then the top 3 to guarantee their semi-final entry, and in first place, which Andy currently holds, will take him to the grand final.
Exciting.
We now look at the women's results. Their marathon was just a little bit after, and it's made it a little bit closer. Some surprises. Kristina Pinisova, she had that great moment on the 4th lap when she didn't fall off the foil, but it seems to have really brought her in. I thought she was going to be up to 5th. Apparently my counting isn't that good. Who would be surprised? It was a long time since I was at school. Kristina Pinisova is the big changer there. She moves up to 4th place. Tamar Steinberg stays in the lead, but Maya Gisle has closed the gap, and she's only 1 point behind, so that's going to be so tight. Tuva Opperdow, little bit behind right now. She's got a bit of work to do to catch up, but she's still quite safe to make that semi-final automatically, and then we know it. She's going to kill it. She's going to send it, and she'll really throw everything at it to do what's required. Daniela Pella, difficult marathon race, and unfortunately she'll have had to count one of those races, and she won't have been discarded. She's down to 5th, with Lucy Belbioch staying in 6th place. Darcy Shaw dropping down, she's back in 7th, but actually course race has gone so well for her this regatta that maybe now she'll be able to show what she can really do and climb herself up. Lola Serin, she was leading, she'll be gutted, but actually she's climbed up. She was on 10th, but now she's not close to the cut. You know, she's got 15 points to play with Emma Melend from Estonia in 9th, and then Manon Pianazza. She's back on the cut now, and she's got 1 point with Barbara Civica, and Alice Reed not that behind it with 116 points in 12th. Like, it's a stressful one.
Exciting stuff, very exciting stuff. My nerves, oh my God! But the ladies and gents, they delivered us an amazing day so far. That's how we love it.
Yeah, it's been a really, really nice day. They've seen some challenging racing. The marathon always brings something different to the day.
Yeah, definitely. You know? Different
it's good.
tastes.
They're sailing a long distance. Maybe they're sailing a different course to what they're used to. And actually, it's about endurance. It's about keeping the composure, not falling in, not sailing out the wind. And we've seen the true winners come through today as they climb the rankings towards the medal race.
Exactly. So set that medal series, that's up for tomorrow's menu. So please make sure to tune in tomorrow for more action, for the very exciting bits and parts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and ciao everyone.
Thank you.